There is one thing that stops you from scoring what you want, and it's unbelievable. Let's imagine this. You are solving questions to practice. You've learned all the concepts, but then you come across a question like this and it stumbles you. It's just a practice question and you feel like you may not just get the question right. You are breaking your streak of getting your questions right. Frustrating, isn't it? You weren't taught how to solve this question. You have never come across this type of question. Now, what if your exam has questions that are more difficult than this? What do you do? How do you practice? You practice using these three techniques. Let's start with this type of a question. What have you been given here? You've been given the position of charges, you've been given the magnitude of the charges, and you've been given the point at which you need to find electric field and potential. That's the question 1 that's there. First thing, you note all of that in short. Now identify what we need to find. Of course, we need to find the magnitude of the electric field and the potential at point A. We also need to find a point where your electric field and potential are 0. Note that down in short. After that, secondly, what are the formulae that we are going to be requiring to apply? Of course, from the Coulomb's law, we have derived the formula for electric field and electric potential. Can we use these formulae? Of course. Now you can find the potential at field at A. But at what point are the electric field and potential 0? Infinity. As simple as that. How? Well, check out the formula for electric field. It has a denominator of r square. That means that as your distance from your point charge increases, the magnitude of the electric field that it will experience decreases, and that too it's an r square. So for every increase in your radius, your electric field is decreasing by the square of it. So at infinity, as you tend towards infinity, your electric field tends towards 0. Similar for potential, you have an 1 upon r term in your expression for potential. So as if potential needs to decrease, you need to move towards infinity. Now let me give you another question. If I just draw this electric dipole as it is, give you this point A over here, assume that this electric dipole with the same charge and the same distance is present in a hollow sphere, which has a total charge of 40 microcoulombs. And this entire system is also present inside another hollow sphere, which also has a charge of 40 microcoulombs spread throughout uniformly. So now, considering everything being the same, now what will be the potential and electric fields at this particular point A? Again, first thing, what do? First thing, write down what's given. You are given the charges. You are of course given the positions. You have been given where to find your electric field and potential. What else do you need to find? Of course, you just right now need to find the electric field and potential at A. So that's your step 2. Then we look at what formula do we need to know. So inside a hollow sphere where charges are uniformly distributed, there is no electric field. But the inside of a hollow sphere is equipotential to its surface. So whatever potential exists on the surface is the same as what is present inside of the surface. Now this hollow sphere, since your charges are distributed uniformly, in the grand scheme of things can be considered a point charge. So if I give you the radius, I did not mention, the first radius is 0.12 meters and the radius of 0.2 meters. How do you solve this? You can simply find out from the center the potential of A as simply K QA upon RA, where QA is 20 microcoulomb, RA is 0.12 0.12 meters. Similarly, you can do VB. We're looking at point A, the potentials of everything that is present, the hollow spheres, both of them, as well as your electric dipole, all of them are going to impact. Whereas for electric field, only VA and your electric dipole is going to impact. VB will not impact because the electric field inside your V of your sphere B, the charges on sphere B has no impact on the electric field. So that's how you calculate. You write down what's given, you look at what's to be found, and finally you use all of the concepts that you know and you solve. Let's take up another question. So this question states the thermal decomposition of gaseous X2 to gaseous X at 298 Kelvin is by this equation. Your standard gives free energy is positive. At the start there's only 1 mole of X2 and no X that is present. Your number of moles of X that is formed is given by beta. Beta equilibrium is the number of moles of X that is formed. The pressure is 2 bar. And we need to look at what are the incorrect statements that are given over here. These are the following incorrect statements. Decrease in total pressure will result into more formation of X. At the start, it is dissociation is spontaneous. Beta equilibrium is 0.7 and Kc is lesser than 0.1. So what's given to us? We've been given that this reaction is occurring. The standard Gibbs free energy is positive. And we have been given pressure being 2 bar. We have been given R as 0.083 liter bar per Kelvin per mole. We have been given all of this. We need to confirm a lot of statements. So rather than listing down what we need to find, let's go ahead with the solving itself. What all formula can we use? I can definitely use this formula. So now at the start, since you have X2 1 mole and no moles of X, at the start of course Q is going to be equal to 0. That means your delta Rg is definitely negative. When you have Gibbs free energy being negative, your reaction is spontaneous. That means your second statement is true. Now again by logic, if I have a reaction like this, where your number of gaseous molecules are lesser at the start, if I'm going to decrease the pressure, your Le-Chatelier's principle, Le-Chatelier's principle, as a lot of you people call it, will prefer a reaction where the number of molecules is like a number of gaseous molecules is lesser. That means it is going to favor a forward reaction. So even A is true. If C were to be true, the number of gaseous moles is 0.7. If I want to find this comes from what concept? This comes from your degree of dissociation concept. So do check it out if you are unaware of what I'm doing. But when you put your statement into all of this, your Kp comes greater than 1. So if Kp is greater than 1, that means that our given statement of delta G being positive or standard Gibbs free energy being positive is also wrong. But that cannot be happening because that's given to us. So your C is not true. So for this case, your Kp has to be lesser than 1, right? That means Kc raised to this has to be lesser than 1. This is of course a positive term. Your Kc then has to be lesser than 1. So this means D is true. So what we just solved here was a JEE advanced question. So this is how we have broken down an extremely complex question into very simple concepts and dealt with it. This is how you practice questions, this is how you solve questions. However, to remember all of these formulas, you need to know the concepts pretty well. For that, you need to make your learning journey perfectly yours. Hop on a call with me and I can help you out with planning a learning journey, guide you with how to proceed with these things, and help you with showing results. Your dream college is just one call away. Hope to see you there.